All right, welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're unpacking something pretty heavy, the incredibly existential themes about life, work, and purpose that are hiding right in plain sight within modern animated media. Now, you might think cartoons are just, colorful distractions, but beneath the surface, they actually mirror our deepest, most complicated adult anxieties. So today, we're going a lot deeper to explore how these animated worlds tackle the very real, visceral struggle of finding meaning in the modern world. Let's get into it.
So let's kick things off with this absolutely wild truth bomb from the source material that perfectly sets the tone for these profound adult philosophies masked as kids' entertainment. In the dialogue, it's presented as this fun little fact about bees, but it immediately introduces a genuinely terrifying concept, working yourself to death without a single break. 27 million years? It really forces us to ask, is this the kind of life we're destined for? Let's take a closer look at how these shows dissect the systems we live in.
Part 1. The Modern Grind. The cyclical trap of capitalist monotony.
You know when a kid just keeps asking why over and over? Well, that innocent line of questioning actually unravels our whole system here. We go to school to get a job, to earn money, to buy stuff the TV tells us to want. And why? Well, just so everyone else has jobs and money. It exposes this totally inescapable, exhausting trap where we work primarily to pay for stuff we don't fundamentally want just so everyone else suffers the exact same fate. It's kind of wild when you map it out like that.
Because of that, our lives can so easily become agonizingly cyclical. The characters literally spell out the loop for us. Get up, shower, work all day, go home, sleep, and do it all over again. You essentially work away your life for cash. But as the dialogue so powerfully points out that cash fundamentally fails to buy back the time the job actually takes, it's a really sobering realization. Our finite time is being traded for something that doesn't replenish the soul in any meaningful way whatsoever.
But honestly, eventually comes the cynical rebellion against that very system. When confronted with the reality of living on autopilot, simply picking up a job to buy a house or impress a parent, this character outright rejects it. It's this abrasive, almost shocking moment of clarity that challenges the viewer. It asks us directly, are we just mindlessly participating in a pathetic grind?
Which brings us to part 2, the weight of adulthood, shattering the illusion of growing up.
The juxtaposition here is just devastating. We all expected this vibrant youth filled with road trips, bonfires, music festivals, and falling in love, right? But instead, adult life hits us with soul-crushing depression, crippling loneliness, and, hilariously but tragically, terrible, debilitating neck pain, all while we just lie on the couch watching TV in the dark. It is incredibly relatable and frankly a little painful to admit how closely this mirrors our own unmet expectations.
And that kind of reality check leads us to a pseudo-academic look at our coping mechanisms. Like, when characters take a mental health day, it's rarely for actual rest. It's used as a shield. They use it to hide from the fact that they lack the guts to confess their true feelings, or to face the reality that if they leave things exactly the way they are going to deeply regret it for the rest of their lives.
But here's the thing, those excuses completely fall flat when reality snaps back. While running away might feel like a personal, isolated choice, the narrative firmly grounds itself in consequence. Characters are forced to realize that their selfish escapism, like, say, getting lost in an arcade for hours, could literally cost a coworker their job. And for that coworker, losing their job means having absolutely nothing. It's a really heavy reminder of our shared interconnectedness.
Which leads into this iconic quote that just perfectly nails the painful clarity of adult heartbreak. We've talked about the systemic grind and the disappointment of adulthood, but this deeply resonates with the emotional blindness we bring upon ourselves. We want so badly for things to work out that we completely ignore the blazing warning signs right in front of our faces, willingly walking into our own inevitable hurt.
Okay, part 3, the leap of faith, shifting from despair to action.
This brings us to a really profound realization about consistency and facing our personal demons. Because this isn't just about finishing a single task. It's about the daily, grueling commitment to getting better. Whether that's your mental health, learning a new skill, or literally simply surviving the adult world. The repetition is absolutely the hardest part, but it is the single, absolute only path to things actually getting easier.
And the source material brilliantly reframes adversity here.
We so often think the ultimate goal is a perfectly frictionless life, but the dialogue argues that without struggle, without real, tangible problems, life completely loses its meaning. Think about it. If you get everything you want the exact minute you want it, what is the point? Even dealing with something as trivial as a broken favorite cup grounds us. It reminds us to focus on what's actually real, rather than getting totally hung up on some imaginary perfection.
Because waiting for that perfect moment to act, it's a massive trap. A character anxiously asks, "When will I know I'm ready?" And the answer is just beautifully simple. You won't. It's a leap of faith. We literally have to jump despite our limitations and our fears. No matter how many hits we take, we have to find a way to bounce back, completely freeing ourselves from the paralyzing expectation of perfect timing.
So, this becomes a massive turning point. Even if it seems completely selfish to the people around you, abandoning a dull, miserable reality to find true joy is a totally necessary step to free yourself. The dialogue tells us that it takes a really long time to realize how truly miserable you are, and even longer to see that it doesn't have to be that way. Taking absolute responsibility for your own joy is the ultimate rebellion against that soul-crushing grind.
All right, finally, part 4, pursuing your true purpose, the climax of our existential journey. We finally hit the ultimate crossroads of adulthood here, the supposed safety of a mundane job versus the perilous, thrilling pursuit of passion. You have a mother who desperately wants her child to avoid the struggles her husband faced, urging the safety of a shop that just pays the bills. But the child, they are consumed by music from the moment they wake up to the moment they fall asleep. It is the agonizing classic tension between what is practical and what actually gives us life.
And that friction leads to the ultimate act of defiance. When told that dreams can't sustain physical survival, the character completely rejects survival itself if it means sacrificing their soul. Then I don't want to eat. I mean, wow, it's a powerful, unwavering statement that a life without passion just isn't a life worth sustaining at all.
The core realization we're left with is that merely existing just isn't enough. We need a true driving force. These stories teach us that we cannot just accept a dull, miserable reality. We literally have to venture something to gain something, pushing way past the limitations of our nature, even when the entire rest of the world tells us it's impossible.
It completely transcends economics. It totally rejects that 9-to-5 grind we started with, because it's no longer about just getting a job to buy stuff the TV makes us want. The passion steps way out of the realm of a mere career and becomes the very heartbeat of existence. It is the absolute rawest expression of finding your place in the universe.
So to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative thought directly from the sources, challenging you to examine your own path. Are you caught in the loop of waking, working, and sleeping for cash that can't buy back your time? Or are you taking that necessary leap of faith to pursue what truly matters? Ask yourself today, what is your reason for living? Thank you so much for exploring these animated philosophies with me, and I hope this sparks a daring new perspective on your own journey. See you next time.